Okay. I'm not sure if anyone else is watching, but I'm going to keep moving forward. So, if you brought home a new puppy, it's adorable, but some people quickly realize that, they underestimated some of the issues they may run into first puppy. So, what I don't want you to do is make those same kind of mistakes that other, people that brought home puppies in that first couple of weeks. Because, when you bring them home, you brought them from their litter, their home with their mom. And when they join you, they're trying to figure out what's going on and they are just observing and soaking in all that's going on. So they're already learning from day one. So, what I want to help you do is not accidentally, not accidentally teach them undesired behaviors. So before you even think about teaching them sit and stay, there's a couple of things I really want you to prioritize. The first couple of things is actually, potty training. Because most people that bring home puppies that are family dogs, many of them actually have the dogs live in the home with them. And you really need to teach them where to go potty and where not to go potty. And the secondary thing, and people don't think about this, seriously, they don't think about this until it starts happening, is, you know, dogs, puppies, they play with each other with their mouths. And you know what they do? They may kind of scratch you with their teeth accidentally. They're not trying to hurt you, but this is how they engage with their, litter mates and maybe their mom and other adult dogs. So you really need to teach them to not do that to us and instead play with us with a toy in between, right? Now, the last thing I really want you to prioritize when you bring home that puppy is helping them feel safe, right? Building that bond with them. But along the same line, you really want to teach them to know that being alone is okay. And so that's going to take small steps. You don't want to just leave them and go do your errands for a couple hours and come back. You're going to probably come back to maybe a dog that's traumatized or pee and pooped out everywhere. Maybe they tore up their bed and so on. So you really want to take that slow because they just came, from a location where they were probably with other dogs and puppies 24/7. Most likely, they were not left alone that frequently, or if at all. So you really need to teach them how to be alone and that it's okay. So those are the really, priorities that you really need to focus on. And then, you can sprinkle in the sits and start all that stuff, but these are the real things. And I'm telling you, people underestimate how long it takes or how difficult some of this can be. So, for example, potty training, a lot of times, like us, they just go. When we're babies, we just go. Our muscles, we don't hold anything. Same with them. You may not see any signals, they just squat and go, especially that 8-week-old puppies, right? So you have to really keep them contained in areas where you would prefer them going, or take them to the areas you need to let them to learn to go. Okay. Because this is what I hear, you know, they poop everywhere in the house instead of the potty area. What that tells me is they are not keeping an eye on the puppy or keeping the puppy contained in a specific area with a pen at least, minimally. They tell me they take them to the potty area. You find poop in the house. Again, what does that tell me? Uh, the puppy is roaming around free too frequently. And, they may say, oh, they take them to the potty yard. They're being very diligent about it. But when they get there and they're trying to wait for them to go potty, what does a puppy do? Oh, they're like sniffing everything. So we need to work on, the cue when we go to that spot. Their job is to go potty. So another thing about potty training, I know some people have told me it didn't take that long, but most of you and most puppies, it will take at least several months and then to be really consistent and minimal mistakes. It may take up to, like 3, 4, or 6 months for some puppies. So they're not doing anything wrong. Some puppies take a little bit longer than others, but it really helps if you learn what you need to do in order to teach them where to go. Okay, so these are things I cover in my classes, in my programs. Now, the other thing that people talk about is biting and nipping. And like I mentioned earlier, some people even ask me, is this normal? And yes, like I said earlier, this is how they interact with other dogs. So, but we have to teach them to interact with us a little differently. This biting and grabbing and playing tug and all that is quite normal, but not nipping us. We don't want them nipping us, our clothes, our pants, because this is what happens. I remember this one puppy. Like the minute I got up, feet on the ground, I couldn't walk. He'd be grabbing my whatever like robe I was wearing, or biting my feet, my toes, and I couldn't walk. Is that you and your puppy? I'm telling you, until you had a puppy, people don't think about this. Or, when they see you, oh my God, you're here. And they jump and grab your clothes and hands. And it's not, it's not necessarily just jumping, it's actually grabbing with their mouth. So how do we teach them to greet you more politely, not using their teeth? And like I mentioned, the third thing that you really should focus on is when you bring home the puppy, they're gonna be scared, right? So spending a lot of time with them, being in the same room with them is very crucial in the beginning until they get used to who you are and how safe they are. And then, you need to teach them that leaving them alone is okay. They are going to be okay. So what I hear from clients is, sometimes a puppy constantly needs their attention. But I'm going to share this with you. And if you had a puppy recently, you probably like will like say, oh yeah, that's true. They do sleep a lot and they should sleep a lot. If they're not sleeping, that's part of the problem. Maybe that's why they're like being agitated and being overly energized because they should be sleeping like 18, 20 hours. So basically, they get up, potty break, maybe eat first, maybe some playtime, and then maybe like within an hour after waking up or two, it's nap time again. And then you repeat that for lunchtime, and then after lunchtime, maybe like a 4 or 5 o'clock, another time before a meal, and then another time before they go to bed. So it's basically a lot of sleeping, a lot of naps, and oh, the other thing about potty training, overnight, they may get up and need to go potty in the middle of the night. So you have to make arrangements for that too. To let you know if you don't know that yet. So constantly needing your attention. So making sure when it's nap time, putting them in the crate, teaching them where to go, where to start relaxing, and then, maybe stepping away when they finally fall asleep and practicing leaving them in the room. Those kind of things. And so along the same line, they say, oh, they constantly want to play. But again, teaching them where to go, rest, relax, even engage in their toys on their own. This is all skills that you need to start working with your dog and teaching your puppy how to do. Now, I know there's a lot of information out there on Google and YouTube, and there's a lot of good stuff out there too. But, you know, some of it can be confusing, or maybe you're not getting the results you want. And what I want to say is, dog training, or even if you're training your kids, it's you can have all that information out there, but if you're not understanding why or how to implement it, or learning your observant skills, it may not work, and you can't figure out why it's not working. That's where, a trainer or someone that's worked with dogs longer can help you. So a lot of times I can suggest things, but sometimes with behaviors, I find it's like a detective where you have to ask a lot of questions, and you start like eliminating like things that are not working, and then making adjustments as you go. And so it's a lot of trial and error, but knowing what to look for as you're moving along and testing. So, like I said, um, dogs, teaching your kids, teaching even students, right? Even if you're a teacher out there of students that are adults or kids, you have to figure out how that particular living entity learns, and how to best work, whether you have to take down the steps in smaller steps, or maybe explain it or show it in a different way. But this is where, a certified trainer can help you with issues and getting stuck with. So if you need help, you can come ask me questions in the Q&A. I don't know if there's anyone signed up. Are you signed up? Are you in Zoom? No one has popped up, so no one's here yet. If you want to, like I said, submit your questions in the Q&A, um, in the comments on the live. I'm happy to, answer them too. But don't be shy. I'm not gonna eat you. I'm not gonna embarrass you. No question is stupid. Okay, so come and ask your questions. Now, what I've also created, if you wanted to come talk to me, is a membership, a 4-week membership. Right when you bring your puppy home, because I'm telling you, there are many, many new puppy owners that realize they may be over their head, some of the things that's they're trying to do, or it's like things are not working, and they don't know why it's not working for this dog because it worked for the last dog. So on a weekly basis, there's going to be a Zoom Q&A session. There's going to be handouts and videos that you can review on your own, or or you can come ask your questions in the Q&A sessions. Okay? And each of the Q&A sessions, I will have a presentation or more information to share with you that may prompt the questions that you have, or add information to what you may be wondering about. Now, like I said, in the membership, 4-week membership, we cover these top 3 priorities. As I'm telling you, these are the important things to start covering first. The other things, yeah, you can sprinkle them in, and they are important too, like the sits and downs and coming to you, and then things like that. These are really important skills for you to learn how to communicate with your dog and teach your dog. Okay. So what were they again? Like I said, teaching sits is not necessarily the first priority. So potty training, teaching them to engage with you nicely without biting and nicking, and helping your puppy feel safe so that they're not crying and they're not worried and they can be alone. Those are the 3 skills that you want to help your puppy learn in that first couple of weeks, up to a month at least, with me. Okay. And like I said, some of the potty training, it may take a couple of months for some dogs, and that's not unusual. All right. So in the comments after I get off, I'm going to share the link. Now, for the membership, I do charge $97 a month, but it's still, so I'm still thinking it's the holidays, and I'm having a special. So I'm offering it to you for $47 for that month. Now use this coupon, 50 off holiday, and I'll share it again in the comments when you want to join. If you have any other questions, you're welcome to just contact me before you decide to join. Don't want me to clarify anything, what I do for you and how I help you. Come and ask. Now, like I said, the special is going to end soon. So 50 off holiday. Okay, that's the coupon. All right. You got any questions? Still don't see anyone? I'm gonna sign off here in the live. I'm gonna wait like 15 minutes in Zoom to see if anyone wants to join me. I put the link of how you join me. You sign up, where you sign up in the comments. So um, if you don't see it for some reason, put in the comments that you don't see the sign up link. Be there. All right, I'm going to sign off here. And thank you for joining me this evening. And if you want, I would love if you come back and watch this as a replay, share with me where are you tuning in from and what's your puppy's name. All right. Have a good evening.